Hey gamers, I am centaurianmudpig. Welcome along to Ashes of Singularity Escalation. This is the tournament held over Christmas period, and we have BradleyATG versus Rbarnson. Bradley playing PHC, Rbarnson playing Substrate. And the opening move, both players moving off to capture the first power generator while also getting down Tech 1 production, which are factories and assemblies for PHC and Substrate respectively. It appears that replays as we know it are bugged. I'm sure, as we can see, he's already captured that building there, and I'm sure this engineer is actually up over here. I'm just not seeing any of the effects, where it seems this is a bit slower down for a factory. Now, distinct differences between the two for factories is that you get the little PHC brutes, and they each come out one at a time, much faster production speed, and Substrate have their martyrs, which come out 3 at a time and therefore take a little bit longer, but equivalent time to get the same amount out. And we've also got the archers coming out now, another T1, which is good for taking out structures, and also other frigates, so long as they have a nice screen of brutes or martyrs equivalent. However, the Substrate have their own equivalent version of that. So, opening stage of the game, we're not going to see too much, I don't expect. Second factory going down there. Well, Rbarnson relies on the one, and we just want to expand as fast as we can, grab more resources so we can increase our production, unlock tech buildings, get quanta rolling in. And Bradley's got himself a scout. Hopefully he may be sending that over here to do a bit of recon just to see what Rbarnson is up to. Off it goes. And as you can see, engineers on the case, off to go capture those resources. Always good to send out frigates to constantly expanding and grabbing more units. If you're playing Substrate, you can actually just send one group of martyrs off and they will still grab a power generator within 5 minutes, I would say. For here we've got a mix of brutes and archers. That's a good mix. The archers will pick off these creeps, also known as guardians, which protect each power generator in the game. So we've got a lovely free radioactives will help over there. We've got more radioactives up here and lots of metal deposits. I'm sure both will be working towards this power turinium generators. Seems Bradley's already sending a force this to go capture that one. But slower on, expanding down to the south. Up goes his first armory, which will unlock our cruisers. So he's introducing Tech 2. The assembly already can do Tech 2, it's only locked behind radioactives. So as soon as you get radioactives, you can use the same building, but he is going to be hurting himself now by not building any more assemblies. So that is a bit of an oversight for Rbarnson there. And as we can see, Bradley's military power will be increasing much quicker. It is a combined value. We've got economy in there, so every time he builds more economic buildings, such as these extractors, it will also increase, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Going down for his second factory. Really, Rbarnson needs to be expanding on here, because look at that, we've got more income for both there. He's wasting resources that need to be spent. where Bradley is spending almost as much as he's getting it. You'll notice that there is a metal storage limit for PHC. Substrate do not have that, but it's not going to help him. It's not going to help Rbarnson to store all these resources. There we go. Another assembly going down. Rbarnson is pushing down south, and Bradley is now also doing that, even though a bit slower. That should allow Rbarnson to capture this Turinium generator. Bradley is now moving in for the... Oh, he didn't capture the northern one. He didn't bother. He's going for the middle one. Interesting. We've now got units. Seems he's not used his scout to full potential, as he would notice that building fighters, which these are, these Fury fighters, are good for taking out other units. A bit pointless. I would have gone for some bombers and started harassing these resources over here, especially that engineer. So capturing the Turinium generator down there, it will remain uncontested. Drawn MRV, which is good. Well, like an artillery unit, short range, so it's probably just within that radius there, just protecting anything that might come in. Should make quick work of these units, these frigates. But it will be requiring some other more dedicated defences, such as an annihilator cannon. So here we go, we have an engagement here between two forces. We've got a couple of drone hives going up against an Athena. We've also got, which is another cruiser, so that might destroy these quite easily. As you see there, where is it? It's now called Zeus, isn't it? The Zeus is more effective against other frigates. You really need, there we go, I can see based on the outline he's building maulers there. That will help against there. He really should have committed those forces, because 3 drone hives would have took down an Athena. I don't know what's going on there, why that's firing artillery. I don't know if it's accurate or not. Could be a bug in the replay system. So we're going down now, 3rd armory, so he's going to ramp up cruiser production. Only still just 2 armories, but he's now working on his aviaries. But really, mate, you need to be using this metal here. That is wasted resources, and you are slowly falling behind in military strength. Bradley is now secured there. He's got himself some artillery, so if he wanted to, he could now start sniping units from afar. Checking out in the southern regions, he's decided to go for a blossom launcher. Well, a little quick scouting would have showed that that was not required. He could have put down some annihilator turrets, which would have protected against these frigates here. And that drone MRV is going to struggle to take care of all them units. On Turinium, we've got plenty of Turinium coming in here. It seems that Rbarnson has got a Turinium advantage at the moment, as opposed to Bradley, where he's only got the 1 Turinium. So if we had some investment in weapon or armor upgrades, Rbarnson could have a good advantage. As you see now, the Artemis cruisers showing off their work, how they can engage both units and structures at the same time. Good advantage. Keeping these units clustered here are not going to help. He does have a good mix of units, which I think should easily clear this area out. Drone hives are very good for taking out units as well. You're just going to hurt yourself just sitting there. Rbarnson, there he is. He's now committed his forces, moving out. We've got Serpentine turret down there, a bit too far away. I could have done with moving it in a bit more closer. Now engaging there. Serpentine turret is really good at taking out either a lone Zeus and a few frigates, or a bunch of frigates as well. Really now Rbarnson wants to push back and take this generator, doesn't want to give Bradley any opportunity to be building defences, especially getting this artillery turret, as now he'll just start shelling Rbarnson from a good distance. Going on, looking at southern regions, captured resources, nothing going on there, nothing more production buildings here. Down in the south, slowly moving forward, as we can see. These frigates are coming in here. That engineer is going to end up possibly dying. It really depends. There we go, he hasn't noticed. These medics are helping keeping these frigates alive, but if he sent these forces, I'm sure he could take them out. He's building another one, building an annihilator cannon there. So big force is just sitting there. Really, Bradley could be capitalizing to take this. No reason why he shouldn't. And as we can see, Bradley's just still staying ahead in the military gains. We've now got some air units, which if we sent over here again, these, what are they called? They're air rampages. He's got 3 of them, 4 or 5 of them. Keeping them there isn't going to do him good. If he committed them any earlier, he could have cleared up some of this area, but then these Furies would be a problem. Bringing over some bombers. So, oh, there we go. We've got some good anti-air defences that will stop those bombers from causing any problem. But Rbarnson really needs to get a bit more aggressive if he wants any chance of staying in this fight. Certainly it's not over at this point, but if he continues to sit back and play defensive, then these artillery cruisers are just going to make short work. Oh, interesting decision. He's moving off down south here. That is almost a suicidal move. However, he still does have his air rampages back up. Bradley's just having a poke, seeing if he had any opportunity to snipe buildings off there. As we can see, we'll tick there. We can see radar coverage, which is now expanded with quantum upgrades, and is now taking pot shots at any buildings that might exist. And Rbarnson now bringing back his forces, which he should have kept there. Lots of strength coming up here. Only anti-air defences are still fighters. I think a push on Rbarnson needs to be at this point. Bradley owning all 3 Tyrannium generators. He could be taking good advantage of all this metal, get some frigates down, capture these points, push back, get up here, grab that, take away all these resources in the south, and then push on even with more and wipe out those factories. In fact, you can avoid all there, push out, wipe out all those factories and capture them. If only he did some scouting. There we go, we have now got our air rampages in there. Made quick work of all these units what were around. Very effective against frigates and groups of cruisers. Oh, game crash. Pausing the menu doesn't pause the game. Oh, there we go. Now we can see how all these air rampages took down his forces here. Let's see if we can get down to 14 minutes without crashing again. If it does, we'll just have to give up on this replay. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, Nash's replay system is not perfect. There are kinks and crashes do occur. So unfortunately we couldn't watch the full replay of that. However, I can report that Rbarnson managed to turn it around and he was victorious for this match.